29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. Life lessons come one in a dozen. The other 11 get something from nothing. I sit here looking for an answer. Maybe the biggest question was in the last chapter. You gave me the soul I have today. Without you I never could have moved away. But now I see what you teach. I do believe I always should have stayed. Yeah. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again. One day I'll be One day I'll be yours. I'll be
Hey guys, how are we today? I'm so glad to see you guys. How are you, Van, Nature Rocks, and Carl? How are you? It's good to see you guys. I It's been a little over a week since I saw you guys last, and let me just tell you. Okay, so I don't know how that my Apple Watch. I don't know how it knows that I'm paraplegic, but it tells me. I know it used to say like you know how it usually tells people it's time to get up and exercise, stand for a few minutes or whatever. Well, mine kept telling me it's time to go for a brisk roll. But, anyways, so last week, with everything that I had to do, it says usually that I do 900 and something pushes each day. Well, last week, each day, I did 1,800 pushes. Hey, Tony, it's good to see you. How are you? So I was busy, busy, busy last week. But that's good. That's good. I got everything done for a while. Your 6 month checkups and then your eye checkups and all that stuff. So I'm glad I got that done. But I remember the last time that I was here, we we spoke about Kylie, the little 18-year-old that was found murdered and her boyfriend's arrested and things like that. Well, her sisters did an interview that was really interesting, and it tells us a lot more about. Remember, she was staying at the Bethesda house for, it was for pregnant mothers. She had been staying there, and her sisters are not happy with that place, and they tell us a lot more that we didn't know. And so, oh, Manuel, I know how you feel, but it'll be good to get it out of the way. Yeah. Um, but first, I have to tell you guys about a missing person that I'm very concerned about. And I did leave a community post up with her missing flyers and also some photos of her. So if you guys could share that, sometimes you have to click on them so that they'll so that you can see all of it. And if you click on it, you can take a screenshot of it and then you can share it wherever you want to. And she's in Maryland. She's a young girl too. Let me go ahead and show you guys her. Her name is Dacara Thompson. And she's 19 years old, and she has long black hair and brown eyes, and she's 5 feet 2 inches tall and weighs 105 pounds. So a little bitty girl. Let me show you some more pictures of her. Absolutely beautiful. So it was the Friday before last. So she's been missing about 10 or 11 days now. She spends, her mama said that she is the youngest of five, and she is wanting to go into the Air Force. So we are going to pray that she still gets that chance, but it's very, very concerning. And this is her with her mama. But during the right now, she's been spending time with her dad. Hey, Elma, good to see you. How are you? And Rhoda Row, how are you? It's good to see you guys. Good to see all you guys. Um, she's been staying with her dad right now for the summer, and this is her and her dad. And he lives in a place called Lanham, Maryland. And she is and her mama says that she is an introvert with not a lot of friends that she hangs out with. So on the Friday before last, she told her dad that she was leaving his house, and it was around 10 p.m. And I think that she was just supposed to get some gas and come back home. But he said that he tried to call her in about an hour after she left, and she didn't pick up, but she did text him back. And he was going to tell her that he was going to bed. And so she texted back, and let me see her exact text. It said she immediately responded, and but she didn't answer his phone call. And she says, "I got gas and I'm out. I should be back soon. I love you too. Good night." And you guys know how you can do the greater than sign in the three back in the olden days before there were emojis and bitmojis and all that stuff. You had to write out what you wanted in text, right? And so they both did the greater than and the three for like a heart. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness, bless them. It was something, special that they have between them. And so that's what they did. Well, I guess that's what it did, just unless the newspapers just wrote that because they couldn't put a heart in. I don't know, but that's what I assumed. But anyways, so when he woke up that morning, about 10 a.m., he didn't see her and he didn't see her car. So I know, Van, that we all have to be very careful even when we get gas, definitely. Um, and so when he woke up and didn't see her that morning, he tried to get a hold of her, of course, and he couldn't. So he called her mama. And her mama, they do that. Um, they share locations through their Find My iPhone, right? All of them do, I reckon. And so she did that, and it showed her car. The way that I can figure it up, you guys, let me go ahead and pull up for you guys what I have. Um, Let me make it bigger. Okay. So from what I can figure up, so this is, and her car was found in Langley Park. And I think that her dad said it was about 8 miles, which I don't have exact addresses and stuff like that. But from what I can tell here, it's saying about 12 miles, but about 21 minutes away. So, not right down the street, but not close either. It's where her car was found. And it was found, oh, and she's a new driver, you guys. I forgot to tell you this. But it doesn't, I do too, Carl, me too. How I remember it is if you think about like the Pac Man with the open mouth, it's pointing towards the bigger number, like it's going to eat the bigger number. So that's how I always remembered it. I forget which grade teacher taught me that, but it's something that's stuck in my mind. Um, So when her mama found her car, it was parked by a fire hydrant, and it's by this apartment complex. And I think they said that it was going the wrong way even. Um, But when they found out where it was, her dad was closer to the area, so he decided to go and check it out. And yeah, parked illegally on the wrong side of the street and in front of a fire hydrant. So he immediately called the police, and they told him to take the car home, you guys. Um, and we all know what it's like. I think, remember Crystal Rogers when her car was found on the side of the highway? Didn't they tell her parents to take the car home too? And we all know that cars can hold a plethora of evidence in cases like this. But, anyways, they told him to take it home because they said that there's a chance it would get towed if it stayed there because it was parked in front of the fire hydrant, of course. And they said if she sees the car gone, she's going to have to call because the car is gone, whether she thinks it's towed or stolen, is what her dad said. And inside the car, he found her purse, and she even had $60 in it. And the only things that were missing was her phone and the key fob, and her phone was disabled. They couldn't find it anymore. And so I want to. Her dad and her mama tell a lot more in this video, so I wanted to go ahead and play that for you guys first.
A Maryland family says their 19-year-old daughter left home a week ago and hasn't been seen or heard from since. Her parents say her car was found abandoned with her purse and other belongings still inside. News 4's Jessica Albert spoke with them earlier today and has what appears to be video of her from the morning after she went missing.
Dacara Thompson's parents just want her home.
It's been hard. It's been hard.
They say the 19-year-old went missing last Friday night after leaving her dad's house in Lanham.
It was a little after 10 p.m. She said, "Dad, I'll be back."
Dakara's father tried to contact her that night. He said she told him she was getting gas at this station near their home and would be back. But the next day, she didn't return. So they tracked her car, a white 2013 Ford Edge, and found that it was here, parked in front of a fire hydrant near the intersection of Jasmine Terrace and Riggs Road.
Hey, Teacup Kraken, good to see you. Yep, you drive safe. And her mama, I'm not sure if it's this video or another video, but her mama did say that they don't know anybody in this area. She don't know why she would be in this area. And which, we don't tell our parents everything when we're 19 years old, but her mom said that they're very close, and they would speak about things like, well, I'm going here to meet so and so, or I'm going there, and this is my friend. And so they have no idea why she would be in this area. And they are going to show a part of a video that her dad actually found. I believe it was shared with her dad from a home in this area, and they say they do believe it's her getting out of it. But why in the world would she park it in front of a fire hydrant and park it illegally? I don't know. That's the $1 million question, right?
In Langley Park.
The police came to the scene. We did discover that all of her personal belongings were in her car, such as her purse, her credit card, her debit cards. She even had $60 cash.
Dakara's father gave News 4 this surveillance video allegedly taken from a home near where Dakara's SUV was found. He says it appears to show her walking away from the car around 1:30 a.m. Saturday morning, about 3 hours after.
So she left her dad's house at around 10 p.m. He texted her at 11:50 and saying he was going to bed. He tried to call her first. She didn't answer, so he texted her. And she said, I'm getting gas. I'll be home soon, right? At 11:50. Well, I believe this video is about at 1:30. So an hour and a half later, 1:30. So an hour and a half later, and not 8 miles away from her dad's home she's seen here. And he says he does believe that is her, but they're not 100%, of course, because I'm sure there's a lot of girls that wear their hair like that and little like that too, so we don't really know yet.
After she left her father's home in Lanham, her parents say they haven't heard from or seen Dacara since. Her phone was not left in her car, and her parents say it's been disabled.
It's not like her at all. This is out of the norm for her. She's a introvert. She doesn't have an enormous amount, like a lot of friends that she hangs with or anything like that. And like, we're really close.
Prince George's County Police tell us they are investigating but wouldn't share many details with us. Dakara's parents say they have no idea why she would come to this neighborhood. They're desperate to find her and want anyone who's seen her to call police.
We've been saturating the area, family and friends, with flyers. We've been knocking on doors, just everything to try to just get our daughter back home safely.
Dakara's parents are planning a prayer vigil for her here on Sunday at 5:30. In Prince George's County, Jessica Alpert, News.
They did do that prayer vigil, so 2 days ago. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit of that, and then I'll show you they're searching in another area even just yesterday, of course. Just 1 second. Even if you just don't stream for like a day or two, you forget which buttons to press. And I'll have to show you guys. I did that once before. I showed you guys the backstage and all the buttons that you have to press back here. It's hard to get used to. And then I switched from StreamYard to Restream, so I had to learn everything over again, but we'll get it.
Thompson had just walked through some brush when she noticed what appeared to be a metal trap door. It was chained shut, but there was just enough of a gap to peer down inside.
This breaks my heart to you guys. Having her parents are out searching like this, and I seen where a whole lot of people and even a councilwoman was out helping them hand out flyers door to door and stuff like this. But Lord forbid, what if her parents came across something that they'll never be able to get out of their brains. I always worry about this because some people are like, well, why aren't her parents searching? So I don't know, you guys. Vanessa says, I hope if she's okay, she will let her parents know. I know. I don't know. I hope that she wouldn't worry her parents like this, but I do hope that could be the least of it, and she's okay. Everything else can be forgiven, absolutely.
Carmen has spent 10 days now searching for her daughter and thought the mill was a good place to look. So why here? Why are you looking here?
I'm exhausting any resource, anything that I can think of. I noticed this yesterday when I rode by to go to the location. I noticed it from my right view when I was riding by, and I made a note to come back and check here also this morning.
Despite several hours of searching along the stream bed, Carmen and Daniel Thompson came up with nothing new.
So just see if I can find any clues, any clothes, any indication of someone being here.
Dacara Thompson left her father's Lanham home Friday night, August 22nd, telling her dad she was heading to purchase some gas for her car. The two communicated briefly that night, with Dacara telling her dad she would be home soon. Dakara's father says he found her car parked right here in front of this fire hydrant, pointed in the wrong direction and right across from the Chillum Adelphi volunteer.
Oh, wow, you guys, I didn't notice this earlier. It's right across from the fire department. You know that they have cameras there. Hopefully, the police have more than they're saying. All that they keep telling the newspapers is this is an open investigation and we're researching. We're searching, you know.
Fire station. Her mom told me today that Dacara was a new driver, and to her it appeared that she had just gotten out of the car and was going to return very quickly. Dakara's purse with credit cards and cash was still inside the vehicle, but her phone and key fob were gone. Her parents are still unsure, but think the person walking in this grainy video could be Dacara, walking in that neighborhood at around 1:30 Saturday morning, the 23rd.
I'm scared, but I'm still hopeful.
Carmen and Daniel Thompson say the Prince George's County Police are assisting in the search and asked that they not share certain details with the public.
So I guess they don't want to mess up an active investigation. So, but they are doing some stuff.
Oh, that's good, you guys. I think he just said that the police are sharing certain details with the parents, but asking them not to share. So it's wonderful that there's an open line of communication there, you know, but that's heartbreaking too because that doesn't sound good, you know.
Dakara's phone may have been turned off in the hours after she vanished. It's a mystery her parents desperately want to solve. In Adelphi, Paul Wagner, News 4.
Hey guys, I do know, thank God that I've never had to track my phone before. But hey Music City Mom, good to see you. How are you? I've never had to track my phone before, but that Find My iPhone app, I think, and also my phone, it has gone dead before, and it seems like I might have seen something. I've seen it somewhere, but I read so much and watch so much, stuff goes in my brain, and I don't know where it comes from, and I don't know if it's real or I've imagined it. But my point is that I think that you can still track your iPhone sometimes if it's dead or it don't have battery, right? I think that the iPhones might carry a little bit of charge just for that purpose. I don't know, but maybe because I didn't pay attention to that before. Oh, that's great! I'm so glad to hear that. Um, I I hope that if I never noticed that before, but he said her phone might have been turned off or gone dead. So maybe they have another place because we know she took her phone and her key fob with her, right? So there might be another location after she left her car there. So I don't know. I'm going to keep an eye on this for us, though, you guys. I was covering, a lot of stuff, you guys, I do behind the scenes. Like, I have a lot of cases that I research on my own that I don't do live streams about. And there was another case like this in Michigan, and it didn't end well. And so we're going to pray for the opposite for this one and hope exactly, you know, if something's happened at home or in her personal life, she hopefully that she'll contact. We know she has 4 other brothers and sisters, so hopefully if you like some stuff I could tell my big sister about, you know, that I was worried to tell my mom about. So hopefully if that's the case that she can talk to one of them, you know. um so I do have the contact numbers. It's running across the bottom of my screen right now, and I do have it in my description if you know where Dacara is. Um, there's not a whole lot else out there that I can share with you guys. That's really all that I know. But I saw the video of her parents searching, and I had to find out what I could to do what I could, and to just do my little bit to spread awareness about her, you know, and look at her there, you guys. she's got big things to do. She's just starting her life out. So we'll pray for her. And like I said, I did make a community post about I did make a community post with her missing flyers and all of her photos too. So you guys can share that. Like I always say, you don't have to share my channel or anything, just share the information, you know? Okay, now what I want to tell you guys about, you guys remember last week we spoke about Kylie. She was 18 years old. She just graduated this past May, and she was actually the prom queen of her class. You guys remember that? Um, and this past March, well, let me tell you guys this, what I found out since we spoke last. Hey, Sir Rapper Noodle, how are you? It's so good to see you. Um, I did find out a few more things. We did know that I did find out that her father passed away in 2015, and her mama just passed away a few days before Christmas in 2019. So this is her mama, what I found on her TikTok. Her name was Carrie, and then this is her and her mama. She moved in with her aunt and uncle. She has 3 other sisters, and this is her and her sisters. It's Catherine and Faith that we have been seeing. I believe this is her and her sisters. I found it on Kylie's Facebook. So it's Faith and Catherine that we have been seeing that were advocating so hard to find Kylie before she was found. And she has another sister named Haley. And they all share the same father, Michael, but they do have different moms. Yeah, it was from Maryland. Yep. The Wicked Witch of the Midwest. How are you? Yep, it was Maryland. I'm sorry. Her dad, her dad is from Lanham, Maryland, and she was last seen in Langley Park, Maryland on the morning of August the 23rd. And that was her car of that video that we saw getting, of her stepping out of. Her parents said they believe that it's her stepping out of the car, but they can't be 100%. Sure, no problem. And I do have her missing flyers and more photos of her on my community tab if you know how to get to that. Yep. And I also have more photos of her and her missing flyers on my Facebook. And if you could share from Facebook, that would be good too, you guys. And you can share and I'll put updates on my community tab too. I usually put them there before anywhere else. So keep an eye on that, and hopefully I'll have a good update for her for Dacara soon. Yes, I have it on my Facebook there, and also on my community tab. I'll share, I think I can share that link right here. There's the post to that. Sure, that would be great. And you can, if you don't want to share the whole post, you can just take screenshots and share those. Okay, Carl, I hope you have a good day. No problem. Thank you for coming by. Um, and so her and her Kylie was the youngest of the 4 sisters, right? And her and the next youngest, Haley, they shared the same mama, Carrie, that I just showed you guys. And so when her mama passed away in 2019, her and Haley went to stay with their aunt and uncle, and I believe this is them. And in the interview, that this is Kylie here on the right, and in the interview that we're going to watch today from Catherine and Faith, they said they're very, I don't think this is their family. The aunt and uncle weren't part of Catherine and Faith's family too, so it was on her mama's side, I believe. But they said they were really thankful for the girls' aunt and uncle because they said that Kylie really flourished when she started staying with them. And so she graduated high school this last year, and she had dreams of becoming a welder. She had gotten her certification. This is her here. And I know that we spoke about this already last week, you guys, but I think it's good. Well, it's been a little bit over a week ago, so I think that it's good if we, hey, hippie chick, I was going to message you today as soon as I got off here. I was thinking about you last night and today, and I thought, well, I'll check on her after my live today. You guys know that I check on my peeps. I check on my peoples if I don't see you guys. It's good to see you. And she had plans to, she already had her welding certification, and that's what she wanted her career to be. But the villain in this story is Gregory Groom. And she met him this past March at a park, a local park. And I believe that she moved in with him before she even graduated high school. And this is them. This is her prom. I'm not sure if he went with her or not. But she was staying with him on his grandparents' farm, a 25-acre. It's not really a farm, but that's what they called it, I think, 25 acres. And they had a lot of domestic issues between the two. And add to the mix, she was 11 weeks pregnant when she disappeared. And so they had been having a lot of domestic issues, and she had went to stay at a woman's shelter called the Bethesda House. And her sisters today are going to tell us a lot more about there. But what happened right before her murder was that Bethesda House had ordered a lift to take her to Gregory's house so she could collect some of her belongings. And her sisters are really upset with this. They said that the Bethesda House sent her to her death. And they have the right to think whatever they want to. Absolutely. I found these pictures to you guys. Remember I said her and Haley, the next youngest, they went to stay with her aunt and uncle, and Kylie had these on her TikTok. So that's her and her next youngest sister. Bless them. And she put, thank God Haley is my best friend. And we haven't seen Haley yet, and that's absolutely fine. Her two older sisters was the ones that we have seen on the news and things. So she was last was heard from physically on August the 6th, and that's the same day that she went to Gregory's house to collect her belongings. And she had called her sister Faith, and the text that everybody's talking about, she had texted Faith and said something along the lines of, Greg choked me. If I die, it was him. Let me find exactly the correct quote. Remember, we even looked at the police report, and I don't have the exact quote here. Let me see if I can find it. And so Gregory's story was when he woke up. So she called her sister on that Wednesday, and then on Thursday, somebody had texted her sister, but I don't believe that it was Kylie. But it said, oh, everything's fine now. We're going to go get something to eat. Well, then, so that Friday morning when Gregory woke up, he said that Kylie wasn't there. So he's the one that called the police, I reckon. Oh, wow. The Wicked Witch of the Midwest. I had no idea. That is so scary. Hey, Wolfie, how are you? Good to see you. That reminds me, you guys, I have these resources there is this is a good resource for teens. I believe that you can contact them if you're having any issues with dating violence or any issues that you have. And then also, here are the here this is a good resource too. I've checked this one out a lot, and then I even found this one where if you're in the UK, this is a good resource. So please check those out. If there is hope always, always. Her sisters said that they were concerned when she first moved in with Gregory because they'd only known each other a few weeks, and they said that they could tell things like, well, I have to ask Greg if I can go, and things like that. But if you didn't know the signs, then you wouldn't know, and on that resource that I shared, they do show signs for us to look for too, to possibly help. They did find her, the Wicked Witch of the Midwest. It was it was on the 19th. So she was last heard from on the 6th, right? And so it was over, let's see, 14, almost 2 weeks. Faith, Kylie's sister, Greg had went to the police and had one interview, and he said that that he wanted a lawyer, right? Well, her sister talked him into going back and doing an interview. And he did. At first, his story was, well, she walked away. I don't know where she went. We got in an argument and she walked away. Well, then he finally come out and said, well, there was an argument and she hit her head. So he was trying to, like they do, trying to lessen his responsibility of it. But he finally said that he did kill her and that she was buried on his property. And he had actually, trigger warning, you guys, trigger warning. I know Wicked Witch. She was just starting her life and had so much ahead of her. And I reminded us last week, and I'm going to remind us again, that it's not just her life that he took. She was 11 weeks pregnant, and she had already named her baby Eleanor in her mind if it was a girl. So this baby was loved already. He took 2 lives. And I'm not for sure in this state if they charge for 2 homicides or not. He is just charged with 1 at this time, I believe. But we did, trigger warning. Thank you, Van. So when he was at court, when they did his court appearance, it came out that he ended up stabbing her. So it wasn't just an accident, which that would be bad enough. He stabbed her, and the second time that he stabbed her, he broke the knife off. So that's anger. That's absolute anger. And I found this photo, and if this doesn't just say it all, I believe this is behind his house, and look at his face. And I believe this is the same area that they did end up locating her. He had dug a 5-foot hole and buried her, and then put brush on top of that. And if you dig a 5-foot hole, who knows if he didn't do that beforehand, So it's absolutely appalling. And so I think that it would be good if we watch the interview from her sisters now, which tells us a lot more. And I did put the link to this interview in the description so you can watch it on your own time. But I'll get that for us now. So this is her older sisters. They all share the same father.
You're good? Yeah. Just for the record, first and last name and spell it.
Faith Monteiro, FaithMonteiro.
Catherine Monteiro, CATHERINE,
Monteiro. Perfect. Two older sisters of Kylie. Great. So first, I know you've probably answered this question quite a bit, but I want you to tell me about Kylie, her personality. Let's start there.
She was full of life, so bubbly. She had so much going for her. She loved everything. She was so outgoing. She was willing to do anything, you know?
Yeah, she was always laughing and always trying to make jokes out of things, and she was always someone who lit up the room.
Yeah, she'd bring your feelings. Like if you're having a bad day, she'd bring you up.
You guys have, you were sisters of four, right? Four sisters?
Yep.
Tell me how you were, growing up. Close. Tell me a little bit about that.
So, we all share the same father, but we have different mothers. So, Haley and Kylie share the same mother, and Faith and I have different mothers than them. So, for a while during childhood, we weren't very close, but I think getting into our teen years, we started really reaching out to them a lot more and trying to, see them regularly, and just
I personally was close with Haley and Kylie up
You
until
were?
Dad died. And then it was like, not silence, it was just once in a while, didn't see them very often. And then once Carrie died, we all got so close. And our bond never broke apart from there.
Carrie was Kylie's mother.
Haley and Kylie's mom, yes.
Okay. And Kylie and her mother.
The Wicked Witch of the Midwest asked if they found them, and yes, so his second time of Greg speaking to the police when Faith, she's here on the right, she had talked him into going back down and having another interview with the police, and at that time when he admitted that he had killed her, he made a map to the location, which was behind his house, and she says that's the only thing to be at peace with. At least they can memorialize her and Eleanor properly. You're exactly right. I'll share. The sisters do have a GoFundMe, so they can do just that. And like I always tell you guys, do your due diligence about it. But I'm sure that that's what they say, that's what they're going to do with the money, and I do believe them. So I'll find that while we watch that, and I'll drop it in the chat too.
They were close.
Yeah, all three of them. Their mom did everything for them. She loved them with her entire being.
Yeah, they were attached to her hip. Every time I went over, she was telling me how she couldn't get them out of her bed because they always wanted to cuddle and be with her, and she was always doing like school activities with them, and she was very involved.
Yeah.
She passed in 2019?
Yeah.
2019, okay.
A
After
few days
that,
before Christmas.
what was that?
A few days before Christmas.
So that must have been tragic.
Yeah, I think it sounds terrible, but that was one of the best things that could have happened to those girls, because when their aunt and uncle took them in, they thrived so much. They really did. Kylie, you could not tell how big her personality was until she started high school, and she never made anyone feel down, always made everyone feel special, lit up the room, like she said.
Who was she living with in Attleboro?
Her aunt and uncle.
Okay, so she was with her aunt and uncle, went to high school. Just one scroll through Kylie's social media, you can see how proud she was that she graduated from Attleboro High School.
She even made prom queen right before that.
No, she did not, really.
Yeah.
She was voted prom queen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. She was really proud of this.
She was. I think it was, she got a lot of hard love from us when she had moved in with Greg. We didn't want her to leave her aunt and uncle's house, and she was adamant about it. She said she was 18, she wanted to be an adult and be on her own, and we took that very hard because the circumstances weren't good. She didn't know him very long.
It seems like that they both tried to look out for her, because like they said, when her mama Carrie passed in 2019, it seems like she was stuck at that age from her trauma, and we have all seen instances like that before where people have something traumatic happen and they seem to get stuck at that age. And so they said she was still about that age developmentally, so they tried to look out for her. No, absolutely not. Please don't ever apologize for that. That's awesome. Oh, bless you. I have a big sister. And I can't imagine, and I don't want us to know. I don't want any of us to know for a fact what they're going through. Not at all. I really pray, friend or foe, that none of us know what these victims are going through. Mm-mm. No.
It was scary to us, and we didn't know what kind of person he was or could become. He had never been with another person before, and that also worried us.
So you had kind of preferred that she had stayed with her aunt and uncle in Attleboro?
Yes.
And she was working towards getting a job, right? Or did she have a job?
She was going to start working towards getting a job. She wanted to start her welding career after she graduated, but she was worried because with the baby, she didn't know if she was going to be able to do that.
Talk to me a little bit about, you know, she goes to prom, she wins prom queen, she goes and she's now living with Greg, and you guys had, you know, kind of ill feelings towards that to begin with, as you were saying. How did she portray her relationship to you guys?
She, like every new relationship, I mean, she really cared for this guy, and even though they hadn't known each other very long, she was very adamant that this was, you know, the love of her life, and this was the guy she wanted to be with, and she was always so happy, and she was always around him. So when she started kind of isolating or not talking to us as much, it didn't seem weird, because that's what I would.
See, her sister is starting to tell a few things here that they can look back on and say, that's not so good. That's red flags starting out from the beginning. She said that Kylie was isolating and not talking to them as much as she usually would.
Would do if I was in a new relationship and just head over heels for someone, and
To us, she was just, it was her new favorite person, so it didn't seem out of the ordinary that she wanted to spend so much time with him. She still kept in contact. We always were in communication with her. She never fell off the face of the earth. She was always around, so it didn't seem out of the ordinary for us. It wasn't concerning at all. The only thing that worried us was that their relationship was moving very fast.
Yeah.
But that happens from time to time in a lot of relationships.
Fast as in they moved in together and then she became pregnant.
Yeah, she became pregnant towards the end of their relationship, but she moved in with him only after a few weeks of even knowing him.
How'd they meet?
In a park in Attleboro with their friends.
Okay. So
it was random.
They were just at the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was excited for motherhood. She really.
I do want to show you guys this right quick too. I found this on Kylie's Facebook. I showed you guys this last time. So this was on July the 17th, and she was last seen not even a month later, 3 weeks later, and it says, "Baby groom coming to a big heart near you. Mommy and Daddy already love you so much, Peanut." So that really got my heart too, you guys. And her sisters are going to say something in a little bit, that Greg had a lot of mental health issues too, which it was his responsibility to make sure that he handled that. We do have to take responsibility for ourselves in that aspect. But they said that he did try to get help too. So I'm also going to share a resource with you guys that we found for the abusers in domestic violence relationships, that if you feel that you could possibly hurt your significant other or something like that, there are places that you can reach out for help for yourself for that too, even.
Really had a name picked out already, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
She was gonna name her Eleanor if it was a girl. If it was a boy, she wasn't sure of the name yet. And I remember our sisters and me were talking, and we were joking because my daughter's Eliana. So we were saying, we can't call her Ely, what are we going to call her? So we decided we would nickname her Ella.
Kylie's personality, besides being full of life and whatnot, you know, she really was an interesting girl too, because you said she didn't really have survival instincts. You know, she kind of had, you know, maybe a late development.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that too?
Well, so she was the baby, so obviously she got babied and spoiled and taken care of. But when her mom died, she kind of got frozen in that space, that headspace. So while she was growing up and maturing, it wasn't in the same ways as normal kids did. And she just had a lot of trauma that kind of impacted that.
Yeah, it set her back in life a bit. I feel like mentally she was behind, whereas other people at 18 would be able to fully fend for themselves. Her at 18, it was like she was still in that mindset of being 13 when her mom died. Things didn't come to her as fast as they came to the rest of us.
Yeah, she was just looking to feel love.
And she never had to learn how to fend for herself. She was only 18. Like most children, you have your parents or your guardian to take care of you. You don't really have to learn the survival instincts of an adult until you reach that point and you're ready to venture off on your own. And I don't think that she knew how to be an adult on her own, but ultimately her leaving was her decision, and we couldn't stop her because she was 18 legally.
What were some of the, you know, things you kind of said to her as she said, "Oh, I'm moving in with Greg"? Besides, you know, that's not a good idea.
I was hard at first, and then I ended up taking a more gentler approach because I felt like one of us needed to be there for her if things did turn sideways. Because it's not healthy moving in with somebody that you don't know. And we had told her that he could be a killer for all you know. And when Kat had said that,
she said he bakes cookies.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And she was like in the mindset of like, she loved this man. She was so excited. It was her first true relationship where she is living with a guy and able to venture out on her own as an adult and make her own choices. And ultimately it led to her downfall. And it's really sad to say, but we tried everything we could to get her to go back home, and she wanted
to stay there.
Yeah.
Did she ever introduce you to Greg?
Not in person, not me.
I spoke with him countless times over FaceTime. He was always a shy, timid guy, didn't really say much. We would make a couple jokes, he'd laugh a few times. It never seemed like anything out of the ordinary. He just seemed a bit different from other people, and so was Kylie. So it just made sense at the time, you know?
Who did she send that text message to?
Me.
Tell me a little bit about when you received that and your immediate reaction.
She had sent me a text message saying that he abused her, as we already know, and her phone was at 4%, and if she dies, it was Greg. Immediately, I texted her, and I called his phone because her phone didn't have service, and I was worried if she...
Oh, yes, that brings it back now. My phone's at 4%. If I die, it was Greg. So her sister, Faith, here, she received that text, and I can just feel my heart dropping thinking about receiving that text from a friend or a family member. Oh my goodness. So she is going to tell us right here what happened after that. She said that she didn't want to call Kylie's phone because it only had 4%. And I think at the time Kylie just had one of those phones where it doesn't have service, but you can call through Facebook or you can get one of those call-in apps. And you can only call through Wi-Fi. So I think that's what Kylie had at the time. So she's going to explain here that she ended up calling Greg's phone.
Was too busy arguing that she wouldn't pick up the phone, and I knew he would. So I called him immediately, and I talked to them, and I said, listen, Greg, what's going on? Why is she saying those things? And she was in the background. She was very upset, yelling. She was saying that he had pushed her, and she was upset, and she was on the floor, sitting where he had pushed her down, And I had told both of them, I said, listen, we're not in first grade. We know not to put our hands on each other. This isn't safe. You guys need to take space. This isn't healthy. And I asked Greg if he would plug her phone in for her since it was at 4%. Ultimately, she agreed that he would plug her phone in. And I had said I would call them back in a few minutes. I had talked to my household to make sure it was okay with her coming over because that wasn't a safe situation. I had called her back. It took a few tries to get a hold of them, but by the time I called them back, they both calmed down. She was adamant she wanted to stay there. I told her I was going to come and pick her up, and she said she was safe and she wanted to stay there. I asked her, I said, how are you?
I'm sure that her sister regrets not being, not saying, no, I'm picking you up. You know, this is the way it's going to be. But Kylie was 18 years old. You can't make an 18-year-old do anything that they don't want to do. And the news anchor here is going to ask her why she didn't call the police. But I'm sure she's going to beat herself up for all the what ifs and shoulda, woulda, coulda. But the only person responsible in this is Gregory Groom. Nobody else is responsible for his actions. And they're more kind and forgiving than I would be. I'll tell you that.
Safe if he's putting his hands on you. And she said, because we're both calm now. And I said, what if things get heated again? And she made a joke and said, you're not going to put another bump on my head, are you, Greg? Ha ha. And I repeatedly kept saying, this isn't safe, this isn't healthy, I'll come and get you. And she's like, no, I want to stay here, we're going to talk about the future, we have plans we have to make, we're fine now, I love you so much. And that was the last thing she said to me.
That is heartbreaking. Over the phone?
Yeah.
You obviously, I mean, people are so quick to rush to judgment, but people are saying, oh, why didn't you call the police then?
So there was an altercation that had happened previously between the two of them, which wasn't how it was made out to be. So I wasn't sure how serious this was, which is why I didn't immediately contact the police. That's why I called, and I had talked to both of them, and they were both fine. By the time I had gotten off the phone, everything had calmed down. They were happy. They were going to cuddle and talk about future plans with the baby and everything. None of us saw this coming at all.
This was 2 days before this happened?
This was Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, so that night, right?
Yeah.
She was obviously, before all of this, one way or another, had to leave Greg's house. He didn't want her there. Tell me about that and where she...
The Wicked Witch, yeah. News anchors ask questions a lot of times that we wouldn't ask or that we know the answer to or things like that. It bugs me too. She says, for a reporter, not a cop, reporters should be unbiased but understanding enough to present the facts on their true light, not scandalize survivors. I completely understand that too, and her sisters are definitely victims too. I hope that they know that there is a victims advocate there, but it does make me feel better. Remember I told you guys at the when he appeared in court that even from the paperwork that I had read that morning, it didn't give out the facts that it wasn't an accident or something like that. The first time that I heard that that she was killed so brutally was that morning in court, and her sisters do say that that the DA had told them the facts before court. So I do have to be thankful for that. And what I was going to say was I hope that they know there is a victim's advocate that can help them through this next process, the legal process, and I hope that they utilize that.
Went, and why didn't she go back to her aunt and uncle's house?
So it's our understanding that she chose to leave her aunt and uncle's house. When she had moved in with Greg, the grandparents had said she could stay there for a few days. She made it, yes. She made it out to seem like she had nowhere to go. So they had felt bad. They said she could stay for a few weeks, and then a few weeks turned into him asking if she could stay until she graduates. They had agreed to that, and then after she graduated, it was essentially time to go. And they didn't have a plan. They hadn't thought this through. She was too busy focusing on school to really develop a plan or to get a job.
That's how she ended up at the Bethesda house.
Yes. They had been arguing over her not being able to stay there for quite some time now. She wanted to stay with her friends. It was like, I don't want to say fun to her, but it was like a new sleepover every day. So she had the option to come home, and she chose not to. And before she went to the Bethesda house, she had stayed with me for about 4 days. And it was over the weekend, so we couldn't do much. On Monday, I had given her a bunch of numbers. We reached out to as many places as we could, and the only place that would accept her was the Bethesda house. They claimed that they needed a few days to do a back.
So I believe it was about 3 weeks before this that that Kylie had stayed at the Bethesda house, and her sisters are about to make some claims about the Bethesda house. And I do have to say that I tried to find out what I could before this live, and there's a I only had a chance to look on YouTube. I didn't get a chance to look for their Facebook page or things like that. So I don't know a whole lot about them, so I can't say anything about them, but her sisters would know, you know.
Background check on her. She stayed with one of her friends, her childhood friends, for a few days, and the Bethesda house ended up sending a lift an hour and a half to that residence to pick her up for her to stay there. She was there for about 3 weeks, and none of us really knew the extent to the trauma that she was going through there, because she wasn't capable of talking about things out loud, really. She wasn't allowed to leave the house until she earned her privileges, so we couldn't go and see her. She wasn't allowed to disclose the address. We couldn't send her anything. We didn't know where to send it to, so we had to wait until she contacted us. She would get her phone taken away for Bible study or to do chores or to go and work at the boutique, which is a store with like newborn clothes and paternity clothes, where the girls would work there for free and they would be able to earn points to get things from the store. But they didn't have a choice in whether they worked there or not. Every girl that has lived there is required to do chores. They're required to be up at a certain time, do morning meeting, go to church and Bible study when the house says.
I do understand that these places like this do have to have rules, and I do understand why they don't give the addresses out, because a lot of these girls do have domestic violence issues with their partner, and so it would be safer for all of them not to give their address out. But to take a phone away from a pregnant lady, that's extreme to me. So I'm gonna try to see what else I can find out.
And they're required to work at the boutique as well.
All young girls, or do you know the ages of the people who are at this house?
It's a homeless shelter for pregnant women, so I'm assuming it's women probably under the age of 35.
What did Kylie ever say about the Bethesda house? Did she like staying there?
No. She said that she didn't like it there very much, and that they constantly kept forcing her to watch videos and read pamphlets on abortion, and she was so distraught about the fact that they were pushing her to get rid of her kid. And I didn't realize the extent to what she had said until now, looking back on it, because I thought that they just wanted people to know that they have options out there. I didn't realize how extensive they were with shoving that in their face.
Wow. It's unclear, really, why Kylie ended up leaving the Bethesda house and getting a ride back.
That was a lot.
Right.
Was a lot to me, that her sister Faith said that they kept trying to sway her in to get an abortion. And I don't want us to discuss whether abortion is right or wrong. But I don't believe that a place that's supposed to help pregnant women should try to sway them in any way. Like her sister said, she thought that they were just giving them options at the time, but now she looks back and sees something totally different. That kind of hit my heart too.
Can you explain that from the best that you know?
But we also have to think, I also do want to say this, that victims sometimes have misplaced anger after such something so traumatic, and I feel them. They can be mad at whoever, however, however long that they want to, but we do just have to remember that too. And like I said before, Gregory Groom is the only person responsible. There could be other things that led in this direction, but he's absolutely the one responsible, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I talked to her that Monday, and she called me and she was freaking out, saying that they had threatened to kick her out, which is the second time that this has happened. She said that they were giving her until Wednesday to find a place to go, which was 2 days, not very much time at all. She didn't have a plan developed. Her and Greg were working on and talking about developing a plan on where she would end up going. She said that she was kicked out because she wasn't up in the morning for morning meeting. She had arrived back at the house at 6 a.m. from the hospital. She was so worried. She didn't know what she was going to do. She was constantly reaching out, calling, asking for help, and we were supposed to help her develop a plan when she was back in the area. She got a lift to Greg's house, where she was only supposed to be there to pick up some belongings. And when I had offered to come and pick her up that night, she ultimately declined my request. So,
Same night she sent the text.
correct.
Do you think that the Bethesda house should have some responsibility in all of this?
Yes. They hand-delivered her to her murderer. Even if they weren't aware of the domestic violence altercations that are out there now, they should be trained in this kind of stuff. This is a home where the address is not disclosed because of domestic violence situations that a lot of these girls are in. And they should have known from the start the situation that she was in. And even if they weren't aware of the domestic violence going on in the relationship, they still kicked her out without any good reason. You're there to help pregnant women. And our sister was at the hospital because of vaginal bleeding. She was scared. She loved that baby so much with her entire heart. And instead of helping her get through that and helping any of these women get through that, the first thing they do is turn them away.
Yeah, I think a lot of the shelters that take in women, whether it's pregnant women or domestic violence situations, a lot of them have extremely strict rules, and I feel like that's not a great environment for a teenager. You know, teenagers are very rebellious and they don't like to follow rules very often, and I feel like having so many strict rules and then kicking them out, like, you have to be a little bit more understanding, especially with the age range that you're dealing with, because that's like you literally sent her to her death. She could have been saved another day, or you could have helped her find a different shelter or somewhere she could stay for a short period of time without sending her back to the person she has been known to be on and off again with.
The founders claim that they had no idea that Kylie was in a domestic situation. Your response to that?
We weren't aware of that either. We didn't know. So I can understand the aspect of it, but as somebody who deals with this often, they should have been able to see the signs. And looking back on it, if she is constantly reaching out to him, can't get off the phone with him, staying up all night on the phone with him, that obsession is not healthy, and that should have told them something.
Yeah.
And the fact that she wasn't at his house because she wasn't able to be there. They didn't want her there. Was that not a sign as well?
Kylie, teenager.
It's really hard, guys. I really understand both sides of this. The sisters are right. that they had seen more that the Bethesda house had seen more instances of DV, so they should have been able to recognize the signs more. But they could also say, well, we didn't want Kylie, she would have went to his house anyway, so we just wanted to provide her a safe ride there. So I see both sides of this. Hey, Neat Noodle, how are you? Good to see you. And Astro came in, and Trixie too. It's good to see all you guys. We are last week. Remember, we spoke about Kylie Monteiro, and when I first looked into her case, she was missing, and my Wi-Fi went out. Remember, you guys, so I couldn't do my live that day. It was the first time ever that my Wi-Fi had gone out, or that I had to postpone a live stream at all in the year plus that I have been doing my live streams. And but like Aaron says, it was for some reason, because that night is when Gregory confessed, and when he literally drew a map, I believe, to Kylie's body, and to her remains, and that of his 11-week-old child. And so I had to add to my research all of that about the confession and things like that, but I still wanted to do my live stream to share her with you guys and to share her story. And so we did that the last time I was here, and today we are listening to a interview that her sisters, remember Faith and Catherine, are here. They were on the news advocating to spread awareness for her when she was still missing. And Catherine, she goes by Kitty, I believe. And so they're doing a very detailed interview here, and that's what we were watching.
Homeless, pregnant, suffered with mental health. Do you think the system failed her?
Yes. I think the system failed both of them. They both needed so much help, and if he was able to get the mental health that he needed, this may not have happened, which we can't say for sure, but I really think that there's an epidemic in this country when it comes to getting help for those that truly need it. There's so many people out there that need help with homelessness and pregnancy, and it's really sad because not a lot of people are aware. We weren't even aware until everything had happened. And it's really eye-opening because there's so much domestic violence awareness information that's out there, but not a lot of people know of it.
Yeah.
We definitely didn't see the signs.
Not until looking back and picking it apart, but a lot of the signs for domestic violence is not physical. And I think that's really important to get out there, is that it might seem like just another relationship, but there's going to be...
Catherine is very right about this, and not all signs are physical. There is emotional abuse, there is financial abuse where they keep money away from their significant other. There is mental abuse. Not all the signs are physical. She's exactly right about that.
Little signs there, and you're gonna feel weird about it, and it's not gonna look like somebody just got beat up. It's gonna look like, oh, I have to ask them first. Oh, I can't go anywhere without them. Oh,
Aaron makes a great point, and I just want to say that too, that she says, I just don't want someone listening to think that going to a shelter is the wrong thing to do. No, you are exactly right. That is great for you to point out, and for us to make sure that we reiterate. I don't know how it could ever be wrong to do. The resource that we drop here, you guys, there is a quick link up in the right corner that that if you're ever looking at if you're ever looking at this website for help, and I did test this, that if you hit that quick link, it will take you back to, I believe it was Google or a different search site, so you can get out of there very quickly. But remember to clear your search history and things like that. And I also want to say that that family members and friends, that you can only do so much, even if you know the signs of abuse and you know that it's 100%. You can only do so much. I don't want the sisters here, or anyone for that matter, to beat themselves up. You can't force grown adults to do things that they don't want to do. You can only be there when they decide that they want help. You can only do your very, very best. So I just wanted to say that too. It's really, really hard, you guys. It really is. But I'm glad that we're talking about this here.
Gotta go now because they want my attention.
From my perspective, I just thought that the reason she always had said, oh, let me ask Greg about this, let me ask Greg about that, was because she needed someone to make that decision with, or someone to guide her in what to do in life, because she was still 18 and she wasn't mature enough.
Yeah.
So it didn't seem out of the ordinary to me at all that she would want his approval in something, because they were ultimately in a relationship and they were engaged.
They were fiancés.
Yeah.
He had asked her to marry her.
Yeah, he, from the story that I remember, he took a spoon and he had welded it into a ring for her. Everything about their relationship seemed so good, except the fact that it went extremely fast.
People like to, in a domestic situation, a lot of times they protect their partner, right? They don't want anyone to know about it, so it's devastating altogether.
If you look at her social medias, the way she portrays him, he's gold, and it's really sad. One of her posts that she puts out there says, I'll love you until my lungs give out, and she did.
Have you guys talked to anybody at the Bethesda house yet?
I have not been able to get in contact with anybody except for one person who is staying there, which I will not disclose their name, but they had reached out to me to give my condolences for Kylie's death.
So you've reached out to maybe the founders and people like that, or not yet?
I've tried calling multiple times. I can't get a hold of anybody, and I can't go there because their address is not disclosed.
At the least, maybe they should be reaching out to you, right?
Yeah. You would think so. Just a simple apology, or just to say we weren't aware of this.
Obviously, she was pregnant with his child. Do you think that, that's cause for Greg killing 2 people? Where do you stand with that? Where does your family stand with that? And talk to me a little bit about that.
When they had broken up, eventually he seemed so happy to have a child on the way. He didn't want to be with Kylie, but he wanted to be a part of that baby's life. None of us ever saw this coming. He never displayed signs that he didn't want the baby. He just didn't want to be romantically involved anymore. And a lot of people may think he was trapped in a situation, but he had reached out to us and said that he wanted to help, and he wanted our help in getting custody of the baby.
How was he talking to you?
So when I was talking to him,
He might have said that to her sisters, but I'm just going to say this, that any man that puts their hands on women is a coward, and cowards will say anything to. Of course he's going to tell her sisters what they want to hear. And what he says and does are 2 different things also. If he wanted to care for her, if he wanted to care for the baby, even though he didn't want anything more to do with Kylie, then why did he hurt Kylie? She was literally the life breath of his baby at this time. So if he truly wanted what was best for the baby and he was going to care for it and things like that, then why did he kill its mother?
Out numerous times, and I didn't realize until looking back on the messages that it seemed like a cry for help. He had sent an extensive message one day saying, I know I need help. I've always needed help since I was a child. I've been trying to get help, but I can't get help. I can't get a counselor. I can't find anyone that will help me. And he constantly kept repeating himself. And another thing that he said quite often, when we had thought she was out there somewhere, we had held out hope. So although it was in the back of our minds that there was a strong possibility that he did this because the situation didn't add up, it still didn't click until after we had found out that her body was ultimately there and it was his fault. He reached out and he said, I'll never put my hands on another woman again. And the one phrase that he kept saying was, I'll never forgive myself even though Kylie forgave me that night. And he continuously reiterated on Wednesday night. She forgave me on Wednesday night. Like he was trying to convince himself that she forgave him for this.
You guys were in court. Well, you were in Florida, correct? You were in court. You heard those details, and I'm sure you heard them too. Your reactions to did you know that this is the way that your sister went?
We weren't sure. In my heart, I hoped that maybe it was an accident. Maybe they had made up, and the fight where she had bumped her head, that maybe it was a brain bleed and a brain bleed or brain swelling, and that it was an accident, and that he would never do that to somebody that loved him so much with all their heart, and especially his own child. So finding those details out were completely mortifying. But we were told before court was in session the details, so we had time to process everything that we had heard.
That must have been helpful.
It was helpful and hard at the same time.
100%.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine finding that out with anybody else, though.
Yeah, even now I'm shaking, even thinking about it. Picking up her belongings.
At the police station.
The police station.
Okay.
Yeah, thankfully.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's living there right now. If you go by, the whole driveway's blocked off. It says surveillance and no trespassing. It's an active crime scene, so I don't think that anyone's allowed to be there.
Yeah, the police.
I wonder where they are. But
They took everything that night, and just so that we didn't have to go back.
every time I go there, I get massive anxiety.
Yeah.
Even being at the gazebo that night, it's like that feeling of knowing she was so close by. Every time we drove by his house, countless times we went out there, countless hours looking for her, and every time we drove by.
Jenner, you guys are making great points in the chat, and I do feel you. This is the second time that I've watched this interview. You guys know that I always try to review the videos before I play them for you guys, and I'm noticing a lot more things that I didn't notice the first time, and it is frustrating. Like I said, I do understand that they only found out that their sister was for sure gone, and that she didn't just get angry and take off for a few days 10 days ago, and this interview was probably done, a few days ago. So maybe this is maybe a week after they haven't even gotten Kylie back to bury her yet. And, but they do have her funeral set. I wanted to tell you guys that they have visitation Thursday and Friday is the service. And they do have that, and they will be able to lay her and the baby that she named Eleanor to rest, at least, like the Wicked Witch said. And so that's good. But I do feel, you guys, like I said, it's frustrating because I do feel that their anger is a bit misplaced, and I hope that they take time for themselves and for their own mental health and to get the help that they need too, because they're absolutely victims too. And to see like I said, that Gregory Groom is the only person responsible, in my opinion. Jennifer says, wow, do you think he just snapped? Do you think he truly wanted to be a dad to that baby? Did he truly love her? Or just one who wanted them gone? I don't know if he quote unquote snapped in the legal term or not, but I can tell you that I don't think he truly loved her or the baby, or he wouldn't have done this. He could have he lived with his grandparents, and his grandparents wouldn't allow Kylie to live there. So all he had to do was let her sister come and pick her up, and she was probably never allowed back at that property because she was going to get all her belongings. So that's all that he had to do. No, I don't think that he truly loved them at all.
We always got a sick feeling in our stomach right when we passed his house, and we didn't know why. It all makes sense now.
Has his family reached out to you?
No.
No.
Do you wish they would?
Yeah. I wish I could reach out to them and tell them I'm sorry, because even though we lost our sister, he lost his grandson. And I just want him to know that it's not his fault that he didn't see the signs that he needed help. It's just a shame he wasn't able to get it before things had to turn out the way that they did.
Anything else that you guys want to clear up that I haven't asked you about? Anything that you want to make sure you mention?
I think that it's important to start adding into, the school systems and hospitals, and just get out.
Jennifer says, she makes a really good point. She says, like I was telling my hubby last night, if Brian Koberger planned everything, he didn't ruin 4 lives, he ruined over hundreds. All the mental health he caused, no one realizes the trickle effect. And that is so true. Just like I tell you guys that our community is small and my platform is small, but you never know the ripple or trickle effect that we could do when we share out missing flyers or raise the awareness that we can. We never know that the good we can do, but it's also the opposite of that. We never know the bad that we could cause either, even accidentally, but this is overtly evil and could intentionally hurt hundreds. You never know. That's a great point.
Get the word out of what these situations look like, and not focusing on the physical, because most of the time domestic violence is not physical, but really focusing on what to look for and what are some signs, and also just reach out for help. Always.
Yeah. And I also want to point out that it is hard to get help in this country. Like, other countries offer universal health care to help with all types of things, and it's hard, especially if you don't have insurance or if you have co-pays. Some people just can't afford to reach out to somebody for their mental health issues.
Yeah. I do want to talk about moving forward too. I mean, you guys have some things planned that you don't want to say. I get that. But talk a little bit about, kind of your mission. What's your guys' mission now?
So I've always wanted to help people. This is something I've known my entire life. It's like, I feel like it's my calling from God to help people. And the day before I had spoken to Kylie, that Tuesday I actually graduated as a surgical tech, where I will assist the surgeons, the surgery and things like that. And I feel like this has been so eye-opening, and it's given me the opportunity to actually help people in a better way. And moving forward, I want to do everything I can to help as many people as I can to prevent any of these situations from ever happening again. It's so sad because a lot of them you don't hear about, but like I said, it's an epidemic. There's so much that's going on in this world, and people need help and they don't have it.
Yeah.
accessibility to resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big.
I think going forward, we're me specifically, I would like to start volunteering at these different shelters and hopefully find a way to help out more girls like this, and you know.
I think that's a good way to give back too. Definitely, absolutely.
I feel like the biggest things for me are the mental health aspect, spreading domestic violence awareness, and helping homeless people that are pregnant or anything that they may be going through. I feel like mental health is one of the biggest things in this, because as your mental health deteriorates, it also stems from other things that we don't have access to in life.
Yeah.
It all intertwines, which people don't always realize until something bad happens, and then it opens your eyes to the facts.
One thing I did want to touch on too is the GoFundMe, because are you guys going to have a funeral?
Yes.
What's your plans?
So we have not received her body back yet. That's all we're waiting for in terms of scheduling the funeral, because we don't know when we're going to have access to her to be able to do that. But once we do get her back, we are going to have a funeral for her. Absolutely.
She will be cremated and buried next to her mother.
Where's that?
I can look it up, but I don't know off my head. It's in
It's
Attleboro, though.
yeah, it's in Attleboro.
Yeah,
And the GoFundMe will help towards those costs, I'm sure, correct?
of course. Everything that GoFundMe raises will be used in helping pay for her cremation, her burial, and her stone. I want to thank the police, especially the police, so much for all the effort and hard work that they put into this.
Yeah.
I actually spoke with Detective McGovern when she had gone missing, and he had told me, he said, I've been in this business for over 30 years. He said, I have another 10 years until I retire, and I promise you I'm not going to stop until I find her and bring her home. And he kept his promise, as did every other police officer. They all brought her home to us. The one thing that we felt like we needed the most was closure, because I feel like it's worse not knowing if she's out there rather than knowing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes not knowing is just worse. So I want to say thank you to all the police officers that have helped on this case, and the canines as well. And I also want to say thank you to the media and the public for all the support and awareness that has been spread throughout this entire situation. It's been very hard and heartbreaking and tragic, but we really do appreciate everything that they have done, everything everyone has done for us so much, more than anyone could possibly imagine.
That was one thing you said to me, that night that Kylie was found, is that you were just hoping that her case didn't end up on a pile with 100 others. You didn't want it to go cold.
I was scared because after it seemed like the police activity had died down in the area, I wasn't aware of the warrant that they were attempting to obtain for his house. So in my head, it seemed like they were done looking. And so it scared me. It gave me this sense of nervousness that she's just going to be added to another stack of cold cases.
Yeah.
There's so many missing persons cases that aren't ultimately solved, and it's scary and it's sad. And
Yeah, I was not going to let her become another cold case. I told them that I would not stop until we found her. And I do also want to say thank you. Thank you to all of the media. Thank you to every single person who shared this story and got it out. Thank you for making this known. Thank you for all of the police that helped, and all of the private people who helped on this case as well, because without all of you, I don't know if we would have found her.
So I think that that's all, you guys. Yeah, nature rocks. That's what we have heard in from a lot of the victims, that not knowing is the absolute worst. Um, okay, the Wicked Witch of the Midwest. I hope you have a good day. So she is going to walk her Dobermans, and Jen is going to let the ducks in or out one. I'm not sure. Letting the ducks out. She's letting the ducks out. We got to take care of our animals, don't we, guys? Okay, so I wanted to let us see this because a lot of the times I speak about cases and then I don't follow up because a lot of the times I feel like it doesn't do any good, once they're found or once somebody is charged. But in this case, I thought that it was good to follow up with them. Miss Arnold, you just made it just for the last part, for the good story part. So you made it just in time. Um, the Wicked Witch of the Midwest, we always like to end on a good note. So, okay, Aaron, you could take care of that. Oh, okay. So now I want to tell you guys about a good story, and this is really, really good. So, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before that, some grandmas and other people in South Memphis, they didn't watch a crime happen and not do anything. You guys, I'm so glad that I can show you this because the mama on here that's talking, she says the grannies took a step, showed up and showed out. She said that day. It's funny how she says it. I'll let you guys watch the video in just a few minutes. But they saw this man coming out of the store, and this is the sad part. I don't want to make light of this part. He was beaten on a trigger warning, a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old child. Awful, awful bad. So bad that a few days after, well, about a week after is when this video that I have, when it is, because it was 8 days ago, I believe. Um, and one of the children is still in critical condition as of this video, and both are still in the hospital. So it was really bad. And 21-year-old Kyron Pullen, he has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated child abuse and neglect. And he would have possibly gotten away with the children and hurt them even worse if the bystanders didn't step in. So I wanted to show you guys that video. And she's going to tell more about it, and I'll share it with you guys in the chat too, so you can watch it later if you'd like, or to follow up on it. Trista says, love you all. It was good to see you all today. Stay safe and be kind. Let's pray for the family. They're going to need the comfort. Absolutely. Absolutely, Trista. It's always so good to see you too. Nature Rocks, could you share your channel, please, and Trista's before everybody leaves, please? Trista does devotionals each day on her community tab, so if you subscribe to her, hopefully they'll start showing up in your home feed too. And I eat my breakfast every morning, and I read those every single morning, and try to think about and pray about them all day. So hopefully if you subscribe to her, that they'll start showing up in your feed, or you can go to her channel every day too. And Nature Rocks, sometimes I don't call her that, I call her Van. That's her name. And she has a really great channel too. She did a video recently, and she also posted on her community tab, and I had a question about her picture, and she found the answer right away, and she does her due diligence. If you guys ever have any questions, please ask her about them, because she doesn't just Google and give you a Wikipedia answer that could be right and could not be right. She really looks into it, and I really love checking out her channel. Okay, let's watch about the grandmamas showing up and showing out.
Children are recovering tonight after Memphis police say they were found with multiple bruises. A group of people in South Memphis being praised as heroes after they stepped in to help. Good evening. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Shay Arthur. A man has been arrested and charged in connection with the children's injuries. WRG's Queetra Wilborn spoke to a woman who says when she realized those children were in danger, she immediately stepped in to help.
21-year-old Karen Pullen is facing 2 counts of aggravated child abuse and neglect. He's accused of beating a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old at this gas station on Airways Boulevard. Memphis police say he was detained by a group of very concerned citizens.
He said they fell off the sink in that bathroom. We don't think so because of all the bruises, the neck swelling on both of those babies.
Shirley Anderson says she was driving in the area of Ketchum Road and Airways Boulevard when she heard a group of women yelling for help.
She was pulling.
Oh, I didn't catch that. He's saying that they fell off the sink in the bathroom. Well, I'm glad that these women knew that that's his tale, and I said on mine, and that's a big old, not even just a fib, that's a big old lie, in my opinion.
2 babies out of this young man's arms. She managed to get the babies out of his arm, pass them back to the grannies. We locked the babies in this washer right here.
According to court documents, a woman nearby noticed Pullum dragging 2 screaming children into a vehicle. The toddlers were reportedly bleeding from the head and covered in bruises. When the woman confronted the man, he ran to a nearby apartment complex. Anderson says they took the toddlers into this laundromat for safety and chased after the suspect.
We apprehended him down the street in the apartment till the police came, and little street justice.
Pullum.
I'm with Mama. She says a little street justice, and I feel that. What if he would have got away? And they said, and I still couldn't find it. I couldn't find anything past this about how he knew the children or where the mama was. So I don't know about that. But I'm definitely with Mama on this one.
Was arrested at the apartment complex. According to police, this incident stemmed from a domestic dispute in the 3600 block of Mendenhall Road. Pullen allegedly had driven off with the children in a car. His relationship to the children has not been revealed, but both of the toddlers were taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Usually people keep on going. This lot right here was full of grandmamas yesterday. You hear me? Grandmothers. They showed up and they showed out. We had a few kings that did what they supposed to do. They apprehended him and held him down, and a little street justice until the police came. So as a community, I'm proud of Memphis right now.
Reporting for your news leader, Queetra Wilborn, WRAG News Channel 3.
People coming together there, and at last check, that 2-year-old little boy is still in critical condition while the 1-year-old is now in non-critical condition. Pullen, he's due in court tomorrow morning.
Oh, guys, that would have made me cry. Bless them. I know. I'm so glad they took action to Nature Rocks. I just couldn't imagine if he would have got those kids back in that car. It makes me cry because all the times that we've heard or seen, well, just recently about, Emmanuel, and then they say that they end up saying, well, they were abducted, and stuff like that. And then we unfortunately find them deceased. So I had to show you guys this. This is a good one. This is a good story where people stood up and wasn't going to take it, I have no doubt in my mind that they saved those babies' lives. All of them should be, I hope they sleep well knowing that they saved those babies, Thank all of you guys for coming to hang out with me today. Let me show you one more time the Dacara that I spoke about at the beginning, you guys. She is missing, and she was last seen on August the 22nd. Let me get my notes back up. All of these dates are running together in my mind. Yep, August the 22nd. And her car was found on the 23rd at Langley Park in Maryland. And remember we saw that video of where her parents believe that was her walking away from her car at 1:30 a.m. And her mama said that she went back and sat there the whole next day for 24 hours straight, and that nobody came back by, looking for the car or anything. And they do believe, her parents believe she's been abducted, but she could be anywhere. So please help me pray for her, you guys, that she's found safely and that we can give a good update on her next week. So hopefully that she can be our good story, you know? Just a beautiful girl. And I do have her flyers and her pictures on my community post. If you guys could share those. And yep, she wants to be not wanted. She wants to be in the Air Force. And so hopefully that she still gets to do that. So please share and please help me pray for her and her mom and dad too. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll see you all next time. And don't forget to say your prayers and take your vitamins. Winter's coming up, and we might be short on vitamin D, but talk to your doctor about it first, of course. Okay, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.